Buenos días, se me oye, ¿verdad? Bueno, buenos días.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Javier Francisco, for the presentation, for the introduction, for the opening session. And sorry for not coming for Narcis Carrera absence, but this is a very interesting moment, but at the same time, it's very demanding, so we have to take care of many things at once. So Narcis Carrera excuses himself. So So,
Vale. Bueno, hemos estructurado rápido quiénes somos. Yo creo que es
so
importante.
we provide, this description. So I will. Sorry. So there are some countries in Europe, that go faster than others. So they need to know that. This is something that other European countries are doing. They might have 2 or 3 plants in the morning during the week. Other countries are advancing, progressing. So what do we need renewable energies, and for what reasons? That's what I'm going to explain. NEDGIA is a naturally company. The important thing is that we are the biggest distributor. Almost 70% of the market is ours. So that means that for the methane development, hydrogen and methane production, generation, we are the transportation vehicle in order to reach the final users, consumers. So all the developers, can actually supply, the biomethane to the grid. We have 55,000 kilometers in Spain, and we also have 4.5 supplying points. That includes different markets that are being accessed and different commercialization agents, the industrial degeneration market as well. So when we talk about the 18 gigawatts, we think that the Spanish sector actually uses more than 50,000 terawatts. So a year ago, it was almost zero, equal zero. So perhaps, all together are building this up. So the important thing is that gradually, we are increasing the gigawatts that are flowing through the grid. 1,000 municipalities, different distribution points throughout the territory. Well, the capillarity is what is important here, right? Because among all the different biomethane projects that are being developed among the 4 distributors together with us, we have a distance. We can actually supply this to the grid. So thanks to that, those projects will find the link to reach the final consumer. As I said before, we are in Europe. There are different European associations with whom we share our problems, our aspirations, our ideas, how we can do this. They also tell us about it, And this association, which is called Forest, consisted of the main producers. There are, for example, 2 of them are the biomethane reference, such as France, which is speeding up the rhythm to incorporate biomethane to their grid. And the other one is Denmark. Denmark, as you very well know, has about 25% of the gas flowing through the grids is biomethane. So it is important to know what are they doing. Specifically, Francisco says so, regarding, the best boost, which is the institutional support. We know how to do it from the technical point of view, from the economical point of view, but of course, if we believe it, we need to play we need everybody's support. And even though, some people have been some shy when it comes to the roadmap, we need, more boost, more continuum in order to carry out the different projects, implement the different projects. So what we do here is to actually apply decarbonization policies. 35 million clients in different countries, which is 30% of the European market, especially the renewable energy, our networks, digitalization. Right now, the vast majority of projects are, the first one is Valdín Gómez project. Took place. The other ones here are in orange chart. The different ones here are these projects are injecting biomethane in our grid. The blue ones are signed projects, and others are pilot projects. And the other four ones are already projects that are already signed, and we are pending for authorization, permission. So the 18.3 gigas need to be increased. As you can see here, that right now we identify developers that came to us in order to supply this biomethane in the grid. So Francisco said before that 35 million cubic meters, that's the objective by 2030. If this is actually applied to Spain, we're talking about 30 terabytes by 2030. So we need to make this a reality. So in order to obtain those 30 teras, we need a greater potential, but we know the figures now are making sense. As you said, we have 8 projects, ongoing projects. And now, what do we need? Of course, this is something that we can talk about in these 2 sessions and these 2 journeys several times. What we try to do here is to provide the menu, Gastoplanet menu, which is not different from other countries' menus of projects. We need to get ready. We need to assess the potential. This is something that we are doing here in Senegal, with other developers to define the potential, our potential for biomethane in the country, establishing objective consumption objectives. Perhaps the roadmap of biomethane is not too aggressive. We need more than just words. We need facts. Then infrastructures is something that we need. The capillarity of grids is very important. And of course, the projects that we are handling, they're far away from the grid, are looking for options, virtual options, the regulation, assessment, barriers, something that's also very important. And sometimes, we realize that we need to remove, these barriers from these projects. And instead of that, we realize, we find out that there were more repos. So we need the rhythm of development is faster to reach our objective. We need to activate supporting policies, the government policies as well as the regional government policies. We need to mobilize, sustainable raw materials in order to be accepted by the citizens. This is something that has been, a very important work for us, which is a circular economy, which is an alternative in order to support projects away from the most populated areas, which makes sense, by the way. And this is something that we can understand, Last but not least, based on this, the important thing for us to notice is that the supply is not something that is not important. You can see in Germany, for example, we can see how, we don't know how they will go through winter. So planning is okay, but we need to guarantee the supply. It's something that we got used to during the last 20 years. We never have thought about, lacking of gas. This is something that we need to take into account. This is a very relevant subject. The decarbonization is very important. we need to identify the different options in order to attain our objectives. We need to take into account all of them. Perhaps every energy alternative option has a different need. So there is a unique supply source, such as the electricity, as we actually know it, it's not sufficient, Also, we need to go into the methane potential to know how it's going to work that. So under 120, 140, that's something that is not acceptable. So, in my opinion, and we realize, based on what I said, 350 teras, lowering, the consumption. This is an important thing compared to the final consumption, without actually building new structures by using the existing structures. Infrastructure, target any energy form is included. And here again, I might say that we can, the consumption, the biomethane, non-electrified consumptions, biomethane. Why? Biomethane is better, more efficient, and consumers prefer biomethane than other options. So I believe that we need to be very serious, rational about resources, economic resources that are not endless. So they are endless. So we need to the consumers to choose based on all the information provided, which is very relevant. And all of us, taking into account all our development, we are very competitive, especially, taking into account the current situation. So biomethane right now is very competitive. Then the renewable gas adoption, this is crucial, this is basic, not only for the 30 teras and the needs to replace the conventional gas. We're talking about waste management, competitiveness, industrial waste management. This is not something to be done in a minute. We need to do it, based on rational reasons. And as I said, the importance, the relevance of having a development that is based on other areas than the cities in different areas. Perhaps this is difficult, but this is very helpful at the same time. Then the geographic challenge, the employment challenge, the generation employment, which is also very important, and advantages. And of course, we are trying to boost the development of the biomethane. And that's it. I hope, the discussion will be very interesting, and we can actually boost biomethane in this country. Perhaps next year we might begin talking about a good rhythm of development of plants level that reaches France level. Thank you so much.